Ukraine targets Crimea, a war for supply lines and symbolism over the past 2 months. Ukraine has grown increasingly bold in its attacks on Crimea, moves that strike at the heart of Russia's war machine. For President Putin, Crimea is more than just a strategic location. It's a symbol of Russian strength and a vital lifeline for his ongoing invasion. And if Russia were to lose Crimea, it wouldn't just threaten their military operation in Ukraine, it could shake the very foundations of the regime in Moscow. That's why Ukraine is doing everything in its power to sever the Russian connection to the peninsula. At the start of July, Ukraine launched a dramatic attack on the Kerch Bridge, the highly symbolic structure that links mainland Russia to occupied Crimea. Using underwater drones, Ukrainian forces targeted the pillars holding the bridge together. While the bridge may be the most visible link, it turns out that 70% of Russian military supplies don't travel across it. Instead, they move by train along railway lines stretching across the so-called land bridge connecting Russia to Crimea, and now Ukraine has shifted its focus. Not just symbolic targets, but the logistical arteries, the railway lines. So why now? General Jack Keane, a retired U.S. general, explained that there's been a shift in momentum. Ukraine is receiving renewed military support, including upgraded systems to intercept Russian missiles, long one of Russia's deadliest tools. That support, coupled with tougher sanctions on the horizon for Russia, has injected new energy into Ukraine's war effort. In recent weeks, a clear pattern has emerged. Ukraine is systematically striking at Russian railway junctions. Analysts like Jason J. Smart have mapped out these attacks, highlighting a key yellow railway line that feeds Russian supply routes into occupied Ukrainian territory. Including Crimea, attacking these logistical hubs puts enormous strain on Russia's ability to support its forces. Because as the old military saying goes, infantry wins battles, but logistics wins wars. Just last night, another drone strike caused significant disruption. Explosions were reported across 13 regions in Russia, including occupied Crimea. Russia claimed it shot down 99 drones, but the damage was done. More than 70 flights were canceled or delayed, and several long-distance trains were stopped for hours due to fires and falling drone debris near key rail stations. Asterisk. And while Ukraine continues to limit its strikes to military infrastructure, Russian elites are growing increasingly frustrated. Their flights are getting canceled, their travel plans appended. Russian state media isn't just upset about the attacks there, furious that life isn't going back to normal, but it doesn't stop there. Ukrainian partisans are also playing their part inside Russian territory. In Russia's Belgorod region and in Crimea itself, pro-Ukrainian saboteurs have begun attacking railways. One group disabled a relay panel at a key locomotive depot, disrupting command and control between trains that deliver weapons, fuel, and weapons, and soldiers to the southern and eastern front lines. The goal: disrupt Russia's artillery resupply and slow down troop movements. One saboteur group even managed to damage tracks connecting directly to the Crimean Bridge, a major blow to Russia's military logistics. As if that weren't enough, Ukrainian cyber forces recently pulled off one of their most daring operations yet. In a multi-day cyber attack, infiltrated Crimea's administrative systems and stole nearly 100 terabytes of sensitive data. These weren't just emails or meeting notes. The haul included top-secret information about Russian military bases, and most importantly, logistics plans for troop resupply. After stealing the data, Ukraine's cyber teams wiped the servers clean, shutting down access across Crimea's government offices. The result? Widespread panic in Moscow and chaos across occupied Crimea. And as the chaos spreads, Ukrainian drones continue to fly deep into enemy territory. Exclusive footage shows multiple drones buzzing through Crimean skies, bypassing Russian air defenses. Of the many drones visible in the footage, only one was shot down. But Ukraine isn't just targeting Crimea. Over the past several days, drone attacks have hit deep inside Russia, including Moscow and St. Petersburg. Though Ukraine avoids civilian buildings, military factories, and transport hubs have become prime targets. When drones fill the sky, planes are grounded sometimes for hours. Just yesterday, an estimated 10% of all flights in Russia were canceled. For every day, Russians and, especially the elites, this is no longer a distant war. It's affecting their daily lives. Canceled vacations, airport chaos, interrupted business trips. On state television, pundits are beginning to show frustration, not at Ukraine's military strategy, but at the disruption to their own comfort. Some even warn that this unrest could lead to the collapse of the Putin regime itself. Meanwhile, back in Moscow, the government is tightening its grip. New laws propose fines for anyone discrediting Russian-made goods and services. If you say all Russian sausage is bad, that's punishable. But if you specify which sausage and why that might be allowed, critics say it's just another step towards silencing dissent. Even industry leaders are pushing back, arguing that criticism leads to improvement, that banning speech won't fix broken systems. But that kind of nuance rarely makes it to Russian state media. Criticism of the president or the war is still off limits. And while cracks are starting to appear in the facade, public dissent remains dangerous. So as Ukraine targets bridges, railways, servers, and symbols, this isn't just a military campaign. It's a battle of logistics, morale, and perception. One aimed not just at reclaiming territory, but at exposing the vulnerabilities of a regime that once seemed unshakable. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support helps us reach more people and tell the truth behind the headlines.